Hi, and welcome to our video course tour of the Hotchkiss School Cross Country course. We've got a bird's eye view to start you off from the starting line, heading out in the direction that you're going to be running. And first we'll give you a little panoramic view of the lake, but as we're sweeping around to see the whole campus from this vantage point, I want to let you know that the course itself is kind of like a figure eight with an extra loop. So it's the top loop of an eight, the bottom loop of an eight, and then you do the first loop again in reverse. There's a good view back towards the MAC, the gym where you may have parked, and there's the Harris House parking lot where some of you may have walked through to get to the starting line. We're now going to be spinning around a little bit to align us once again with the direction that you'll be facing. You can see the angled starting line right below you, and we'll look up, and in the distance you'll see the dormitories on your left, and perhaps even the silver dome of the observatory that you're going to be aiming for as you take off. We've got a couple people jogging kind of leisurely. Oh my goodness, they heard the starting gun a little belatedly, and off they go. And as you can see, they're heading in a straight, pretty flat direction to enter a long, gradual turn around the observatory. This is a big, smooth turn. We're about 250 meters into the race. And now we're going to be on the grass of the cross-country course, which of course is a golf course. We're on the 7th fairway, heading uphill for a little bit, then over a long, flat kind of crest of a hill. Now we're going into a little bit of a valley towards one of the golf greens. We are not yet at the half-mile mark, a little bit of an uphill here. We're going to have maybe 30 or 40 strides on pavement, but nothing to worry about. You're just going to cross over the pavement. And now we actually changed the weather a little bit on you and are going through a small grove with the bulls on the right. We emerged from the grove, and at this flag, an abrupt turn to the left, you're about half a mile into the course. This is the crosswalk where you come from the gym over to the course, and now we're heading down a very long, gradual downhill. Most people prefer to run on the grass. We'll talk about the end of the race when you come uphill on this. Make sure that you don't run into signs. I guess that's why we slowed down there a little bit. And we're continuing on a long downhill next to this Route 41. You'll notice the cars are moving really fast today, and so are the golfers up ahead of you. So you're going to move away from the road a little bit and into a small grove where it's the only place on the course where the footing may be a little bit rocky. It's really not too bad at all. But we came down to show you just what it's like in the second long, slow bend going around some trees. You can go as far to the right you want if you want to stay on the grass, or you can cut maybe a little bit to your left. But as you can see, there's going to be ropes along the way. We will have security guards guarding or holding the traffic for you. And this is a good view up towards the mile mark and back up towards the start-finish line. And you can see our runners are moving quickly, except they want to slow down and take a look at the 1 mile mark there on your left. 1 mile down, and off we go. Uphill gradually. This is where all the fans will be. This is back to the starting line area. You can see it to your right. And now we're going to go on an extended period on the pavement, so we're slowing down a little bit for you. This is only about 100 meters or so on the pavement, and it's slightly uphill. You can run on the grass if you want. We'll probably have that truck out of the way, and we'll try to keep the car traffic to a minimum during the race. But this is, again, about maybe 80, 100 meters on the on the pavement. And now we're going to go down low back to eye level almost. Going through these, well, that's pretty high eye level, I guess, maybe for an owl or something. And our runners have returned from their break and brought the sun with them. And we're going to go back on the golf course fairway on the nice soft grass and speed up because it's a good downhill here for about 400 meters. Again, at this point, we're almost 1.5 miles into the race, still not quite at the halfway point, I'd say. And we urge you to keep on the grass all along here. We won't have the road blocked off or anything like that. This is a highway, a long, gentle curve, and your second. This is the longest portion on pavement, but again, it's downhill, and it's about 150 meters or so. Watch out for the speed bumps. And up ahead, we're going to have a quick right turn when you see a transformer and a red flag on your right. We highlighted a little bit for you here, but probably not enough. So we've got a sharp right turn around the transformer, and now you're going up Cardiac Hill, by far the steepest part of the race, and you're about a mile and maybe 3/4 into it. Again, it's a pretty tough uphill, fairly soft grass with long grass on either side. And now you can see the starting line in the distance beyond the golfers. I'm sorry that our owl got a little tired there and its head drooped down. But when you look up a little bit, you can see we're just about to cross the starting line again. There's a flag at the far end of the starting line. And now as we go past this golf green, we're going to pass the 2-mile mark there on your left. That was a little quick, but they're enjoying the downhill. Here's an arrow to indicate that the course now returns to the first mile of the course, and you're going to run it in reverse. This time around the long bend, we're going to take the bird's eye view from high up rather than going down low. And again, wouldn't it be nice to just fly above all the obstacles on your way? But unfortunately, we're going to be back down to ground level and running alongside this road now for about 500 meters uphill. We'll tell you this many times, but you are allowed to run on the highway, on the roadway at this point. We will have cones blocking it off, and traffic will be alerted to you, but you run it, I won't say you run at your own risk. The cars will be going in the same direction as you, so you need to be careful. If you need to pass somebody, if you're running on the road and you need to pass somebody, you must pass on your right or pass on the grass. We've just crossed a parking lot gap, and we're going to continue on this gradual uphill. We call it Torrey's Hill along Route 41. And now we're going to be back at the crosswalk with the gym on your left, but you just continue straight across the crosswalk and onto the light gravel path. And this is the highest point of the course, and you'll bend to your right. You'll see the bulls on your left. We'll go through the small grove that we came through near the beginning of the race. And from this point, it's all downhill. We do a little bit of a jump here, maybe 50 yards. You can see that we're back on pavement just for a few strides, and now we've got nothing but green grass all the way back to the finish line. This is a little bit of a downhill, flattens out slightly when you're on the crest of this fairway, but again, mostly downhill on grass towards the finish line. You notice that we have a tactical maneuver here coming up, which we should give away, and that is that we really encourage you to slow down and enjoy the view as you come to the observatory the last time. It's really a spectacular sight, panorama, vista as you come around the turn. So that's why we've encouraged our runners to take it easy, enjoy the view, catch your breath before you do the last 200 meters or so straight along a level path of the fairway towards the finish line. Again, just as you round this observatory, you'll start to see all the spectators ahead of you, probably on both sides of the line, but there'll be more on the right side than on the left. And at this point, you'll just be heading towards the finish line chute with all the energy that you've saved for your final sprint until you decide to slow down just for the cheering fans. These guys are acknowledging you and the fans together. Thanks. And speaking of thanks, I would like to thank a bunch of people who made this tour just what it was. First of all, Tyler Wasliger, who did all the filming, all the editing, and really was our eye in the sky for this whole project. I'd also like to thank our runners, Ryan and Ian and Grace. It took them only about 10 minutes to do 5K on tape, but in fact it took them almost 2 hours and about 10K of running to do the whole process, start to finish, back and forth over and over again. Most of all, I'd really like to thank the men and women of the grounds crew at Hotchkiss who keep the campus looking so beautiful and who do so much to make our course what we think is one of the best groomed, best marked courses. It's certainly one of the most challenging and beautiful in all of New England. So thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you at the starting line.